The mind is content given life by energy and meaning by ignorance. Each mind is like a unique Tiffany lampshade that colors both the perception of reality on the uptake and the expression of consciousness in the reaction to its interpretation. Duality is a trick of the universe by which one thing keeps itself company by believing it is not itself. We are the universe playing four-dimensional peekaboo with itself. Body cells perceive and react to stimuli, and some can react without being attached to a nerve ending, like an immune cell. It acts like a primitive organism. If you look into it, you'll find that our bodies contain many symbionts. They help us break food down so that we can absorb the nutrients. Similar to how mycelium pass nutrients to trees through the root system. The energy centers of our cells, the mitochondria, are believed to have originated from bacteria. Viruses can mutate our DNA. Our cells are bombarded with this vagrant information called viruses. They appear in nature and somehow they occasionally penetrate our defenses and cause a mutation or a genetic bottleneck. The environment determines which mutations are most conducive to surviving progeny. They are given expression via selection. Viruses can be sprinkled on the living world and act as an agent, a driver of mutation that's in turn refined by selection based on the environment. Life is shaped by the selection process imposed by its environment. Things from different geological periods converged in appearance and lifestyle due to similar prevailing conditions, like dolphins and ichthyosaurs. Living things are a combination of dirt, water, and the energy that comes from the sun that's converted to edible energy via photosynthesis in plants. All energy comes from the sun. It could be argued that an extrasolar object didn't come from the sun, but certainly it came from some star. Living things incorporate inert materials, bringing them into the service of self-observation. It all rises from a thin layer of topsoil and returns to it. Some source of movement, projected energy, makes this dance happen. It's all a projection of will imposed onto a matrix of awareness. The things that appear as whole objects are moved by a force between each other, as are cells and molecules. There's something that compels the atoms that make up even those to vibrate, and it's all being moved by an energy that's projected into matter, like a 3D movie on a 3D screen that extends through time. That screen is awareness. Meher Baba, who declared himself to be God, wrote a book, I think it was called God Speaks. And one of the things that's described in it is a process by which inert materials over time give rise to what hosts awareness, that the universe becomes aware of itself through this process of inert minerals moved by some will, giving rise to forms that can be aware or host awareness. Awareness witnesses what unfolds within itself through the form that arises from these inert minerals. This is the trick of duality. The God-man is outwardly an ordinary expression of consciousness, but inwardly there is only unconditioned awareness, which is love. People would comment on Meher Baba's palpable presence, and the same has been said of Ramana Maharshi and likely many other saints. If some part of the whole that has heretofore taken itself to be a separate thing realizes that its true self is what perceives but is not perceivable, there shines through the form from the substratum of awareness, love. Even with the appearance of being solid, objects are mostly space. An atom's real estate is over 99.999% space between the subatomic particles within it. Love is the space through which everything moves as an expression of its will. To come into alignment with the present is to be in surrender to this will, and thus resonate at its level, which is love. And in this is what causes the perception of love in such a being's presence. Such beings can also feel your presence. Just as silence allows hearing, stillness allows feeling, and inner stillness allows inner feeling. To be body identified is to be relegated to speculation and second-hand accounts when it comes to subtle phenomena. The loss of ignorance should be the primary objective of spiritual pursuits, a foundation, like getting your spiritual eyes. Any other objective perpetuates samsara. And in the loss of ignorance, it's discovered that when identified with, thoughts hide the reward they purport to supply in some object or via some experience. It's revealed that the product of all pursuits is inferior to what, in the absence of belief in being a pursuer, reveals. It's inferior to what appears in the absence of belief in being the pursuer of objects and experiences.